Somebody asked me the other day, man, how do you do it? Like, you're just so disciplined. Like, it's like a superpower. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm like super disciplined. That's my superpower. But what I realized is that I have adopted identities. Like, this is who I am. Like, I don't just do things because I'm disciplined. It's just who I am now, and so I do them, right? And there's 5 identities that over the years I've embodied, I've adopted. And the first one is weaponized body, right? To be a weaponized warrior. That means this is who I am. Like, I work out. My body is a weapon. For some, your body is not a weapon. It's a liability. Your knees hurt, your back hurt. You can't run for too long. You can't play with your kids. You can't lift your kids. You can't lift your wife. Like, your body is a liability, right? And you're thinking of working out to get fit, to have all these things, but you have not embodied the fact that your identity has to shift to you just a fit person. That's your identity. You are a weaponized body. The next one is you have to be a divine navigator. What does that mean, Julian? Well, it means that you're spirit-led. Like, in order to be a great dad, like, it cannot just come from here. It comes from here, and it comes from here. Like, you have to be this divine navigator. You're going to have to get to places where you got to ask God for guidance because things are going to be rough. When you have kids, when you run your business, when you have financial pressure, when you have frustrations, when your heart feels heavy because there's tough decisions you have to make, you have to go and call upon Him, and you have to be able to know how to navigate. That's your second identity. To be a great dad, you have to be a divine navigator. If you're not a divine navigator, you can't be a great dad. I'm sorry. Because you can't do it alone. Third one, you have to be a lover. You got to love your family. You got to love your wife. You got to love your kids. Like, you have to have this love that will make you just put family first. And that's such a hard thing to say. Because you're going to consistently be challenged by that. By putting your family first. Because you're like, well, I got to make money, and that's hot. Yeah, but if your family is truly first as your values, family first, then da-da-da-da-da, you have to put your family first. I'm going to give you an example today. I had my day planned out. My day was planned out. And the principal called and said, hey, like one of your sons, like Finley, there's a field trip, and he's probably not going to go because of behavior from yesterday, but we really wanted him to go, but really we can't really do it because we might need some help. And I didn't know at the time, but they had other kids that were troublesome. And so they say, hey, like, the way he can go is if you come as a chaperone. Now, I just dropped him. I have my day planned out of what I'm going to do, but I'm like, because I love him and I want him to have this experience, I'm going to go off my schedule to be there for him. And so I did. And it was an hour drive to go to Bluebell, just to be there for like about 2 hours, and an hour drive back. And then my day, I had to fit in what I had to fit in, right? But that's what it is to be family first. That means family comes first, and then you fit the rest in place. That's one of your big rocks, okay? So you have to be a lover. You have to love your wife. You have to love your kids. That's an identity. That's your third one, lover. The fourth one is protector. You have to be a protector. That means, like, I have to protect my wife from my kids sometimes, right? Like, I got to create space for her because she's such a lover, such a giver, that sometimes she's going to give too much and not have enough space for her. That I have to be like, get out, leave mommy alone. I have to be a protector for her. Protector for her from others. Same thing for my kids. Each individually protect them from each other, protect them from the world. Like, I have to be a protector, right? Protect people. But you can't do that if you're not spirit-led. You can't do that if you don't have a weaponized body. You just can't do it. Then guess what the other one is? Yep. You got to be a provider. If you don't bring money, you can't provide. If you can't provide, you can't support. Like, it is what it is. You can have all the great intentions and everything you want. If you can't provide for your family, you can't be a great dad. Because you're consistently going to have to sacrifice stuff. You're consistently going to have to tell them, no, you can't do this activity. You can't have these shoes. You can't. And it really comes to the fact that you're not producing enough. And you're not producing enough because deep inside you're afraid. You're afraid that if you take the step to go and do what you're called to do, that you're going to lose. You're afraid that if you go and do what God calls you to do, you're going to be unstable and you might lose it all. But you got to be unstable. You have to be unstable to move where God wants you to go. There is just no way but that one. Anybody that's been successful, you ask them. There's been a moment in their life where they had to be unstable. They had to leave their father's home and their country to go where God is calling them to go. And in a moment of being unstable, this is what happened. Okay? In a moment of being unstable, this is what happened. People think you're crazy. You think you're crazy. But then something new opens up for you. You can now be that divine navigator because, listen, you only have God to rely on. You're like, okay, God, you brought me here. Like, how do I navigate now? But you can't do it if you're always secure. Right? Your identity shift. So you're unstable because your identity is shifting. You're like, I'm just trying to find and remember who I am. Right? Like, I'm trying to remember who I am, who you want me to be, because I left this identity of being this director, this manager to be an entrepreneur, and I don't know who I am now. And I feel like this business is not working the way it's supposed to go. You want me to be this speaker, you want me to be this coach, but I just don't feel it. I don't see the fruits. And God is just saying, like, hey, I just need you to trust. I just need you to be unstable so you can move where I want you to go. And once you embody those 5 identities of the weaponized body, divine navigator, lover, protector, and provider, then you can be a great dad. So, this is why. It's late, and I'm about to get this workout. Not because I want to get this workout, because this is who I am. This is who I am. And I can't shut down my identity. This is who I am. And we couldn't do it earlier, but we're going to get it done now. So if that's you, doesn't matter what time, you need to embody this, get it done. All right? And if you connect with this, have any questions, like always, send me a DM. Julian, signing out. So remember to release it, be seen, don't hide. I'm about to hit this back and biceps, 50 minutes. Let's go.